Same live, yeah.
I'm just checking now. It should be.
Come, come, man. All right. First and foremost, we gonna say all praises be to Hawa Ba'ashem,
Hashem, yeah, Shai,
Hawa
Hashem,
Shai
Kodash.
Ba'ashem Kakodash, and then we gonna say double honors to the, the apostles. You know what I mean, and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the sincere. You know what I mean, elected in His truth and faith and sincerity. And kind of man, our two brothers just here. You know, are just gonna go into some scriptures and see where the spirit takes us. But as you can see, man, there's a lot of things taking place on the earth. You know, as the scripture speaks about, you know, the devil coming down with great wrath because you know if he have for a short time in terms of the whole the you know what I mean Babylon and the whole I I
Mm-hmm.
Truth and Insurrection Act and much things. Even that, even on top of that, we're seeing you know the storyline being built up of tension between Babylon and nations that it's in league with. You know what I mean? Like even if a lot of this is you know, just being propaganda or just kind
Theater.
of
Yeah.
engineered theater, sorry. Even if like a lot of it is theater, still we're seeing the narrative, you know, between you know the whole Denmark and Greenland. We're just seeing that storyline, that narrative being built up of nations that's in league with Babylon, you know, basically potentially turning against them.
Mm.
So everything's happening, man. Everything we speak about is happening, you know. So yeah, with that, if you got anything that you want to say
But
or
and
contribute?
and that's you said it. Everything that starting off the apostles on down that we've spoken about is happening, man. Right, and it's
Mm,
beautiful to see because it's just like, we are now just at that time where it's no longer a ooh, are they right or ooh, no, maybe they're not right. This is this. What's happening right now. Once again, even if it is just theater, is big, right? I think back to do you remember when the coup in Turkey?
yeah.
Right now, before the coup in Turkey, I remember thinking, I was like reading those precepts. It's like, in fact, if I can grab that real quick, right? Just to just on the point I'm trying to make, right? So Ezekiel 38 from the top says, and the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, which representing Russia, right? The chief prince of Meshach and the Tubal prophesied against him, and say, Thus saith Yahweh, says, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, because ultimately they're Edomites anyway. Right, so now turn thee back and put hooks inside yours, put you back into that a Soviet era mentality, right? And I'll bring thee forth and all thine army and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, right? Persia, Iran, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Goma, right? And Goma, right? That's representative of Turkey, right? And I used to remember, like before the coup, in Turkey, just thinking, yo, how is how is Russia and Turkey going to align? Because before that, Turkey was very much, you know, it was very, America aligned, right? But when
Mm,
that particular thing happened, all of a sudden you start seeing Turkey start leaning towards Russia, right? And in the same way, people would have heard the apostles on down for however long say things like, yo, America's allies are going to turn against it. America's allies are going to turn against that, right? So I
mm,
wasn't sharing the screen, right? But America's allies are going to turn against that. And now we're seeing that. We are
mm,
actually seeing, that shift towards, America being, rather America's enemies being against her, right? Well, whether
yeah,
it be theater or not, but we know ultimately those missiles are going to fly. Go on, bro.
yeah. They're seeing what the scripture says, man. Whose look was more stout than his fellows, man. You know what I mean? Like basically,
Mhm.
everyone's seen that Babylon just really thinks about itself, you know.
That's
But
it. And
at the end of the day, it's all prophecy.
that's it. It's like I was going to say as well. What's been what's been beautiful to see is just the pride of these Edomites, man. right? Because you know when what was this nation? Well, basically, I think it was Denmark, and then you'd see Americans just be like, what are you gonna do about?" Which is a true statement. You know,
Mm,
what is Denmark actually gonna do about it, right? But the thing is, they were saying it
mm,
from a position of pride, like, yeah, let's go get that, those resources in Denmark, right? So it's just beautiful to see these Edomite at his zenith of pride, you know.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. Let's start with the scripture of Ezekiel.
Yep, this is Ezekiel 21 from 9. Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we
Yeah,
then
man.
read that?
Yeah, and it's like it's a short, can you read this in one of the NLT? Then let's see what it says. But that sword is Esau, man. That sword is Esau with his technology, secret councils, gathering everything up, man. And again, we've been hearing, with the whole Venezuela, how there was testing out certain weapons that was making crowds disperse, whatever it is. But even so, you know, once that insurrection act comes into pass, and there's really even more boots to the ground, it's gonna get spooky out here, man.
Mm-hmm.
And like, we know for a very long time in Babylon, we've we've seen that they've built mass um
Detention
uh,
centers.
coffins.
Oh,
Remember,
yeah. Way back
remember,
when, yeah.
like, yeah, remember way back when, where we'd always see these little lorries of coffins so that can fit three, four people at the same time, going across, state lines in Babylon as well. We even saw, cages and shit being built, which
Mm,
these are the same things that they've shown in these movies.
yep.
Like even the other day, I was watching Civil War. I haven't finished it yet, but I was watching a bit of it the other day, and it just seeing, like, once all bets are off, so-called terrorist attacks going to take place, you know, basically on the spot fucking executions, which Esau's already shown you that's what he actually wants to do out here, man.
Mm,
With these ice again, even if a lot of this is theater, it's just a sign of what is coming. Right? Go ahead.
that's it. That's it. So this is Ezekiel 21 and 8 in the NLT. It says, Then the Lord said unto Yahweh said unto me, Son of man, give the people this message from the Lord. A sword is being sharpened and polished. It is sharpened for terrible slaughter and polished to flash like
Yeah,
lightning.
for a terrible slaughter, because, like, bro, again, like, from time we're seeing them speaking about going door to door.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, going door to door, with the ICE troops and all of that kind of stuff. It's and again, as you've seen with Babylon, he has laws that can be used in other circumstances.
Mm,
First, first it can start off with migrants, and then it can just change to the average everyday American citizen, which we've been seeing videos of American citizens being stopped. You know,
yeah.
you know. Go
That's
ahead, bro.
it. It's a thing where when you read a contract, right, like of something, he will make it watertight, right, to
Mm,
the point you're like, yo, man, how am I gonna get insurance to pay?
mm,
Right? You be
yep.
trying to get insurance to pay out, but they've got some clause in there that was, that had them covered, right? But
Yep.
these times, when it comes to certain laws and in regards to the T and all of that sort of stuff, all of those laws are
Hmm.
vague, right? And
Hmm.
why are they vague? Because they're trying to set up a system where they can be applied to anyone. right?
Hmm.
So what the brother's saying, I mean, even the whole thing about the ICE detention centers, right?
Hmm.
Ultimately, we understand that that was for the sake of basically these last times. Those, you know, those were to be used for against American citizens. Okay, but because you know they hyped up the whole anti-immigrant sentiment, and then have been like, oh yeah, we're building these for the immigrants. People were
Hmm.
on board. Okay,
Hmm. Yep. The
so
scripture says the serpent is more subtle.
that's it.
You
That's
know.
it.
Yeah, because even because Babylon is basically a third world country, man. You
Mm,
know, Babylon is basically a third world country, man. I actually saw a video that a brother did who a veteran that was in Vietnam. I believe it was in Vietnam or somewhere else. But he was basically saying the moment where when you're seeing the
mm.
military and them kind of federal troops being used on its own people, then Babylon's a third world country, bro.
Yeah,
Remember,
that was
yeah,
Jesse
go on, bro.
Ventura, I believe.
Okay, Khan.
Yeah,
You know, you sure it was a video of like a
it looked
veteran
like a
speaking.
I believe. Yeah, I believe it
Yeah.
was.
Okay, Khan.
Let me. I'll just double check. But carry on, bro.
Khan. Yeah, he was speaking. It's like, bro, if we're seeing them kind of troops on the ground against their own citizens, like, come on, like, bro, like America's done. When you really think about it, it's like this is supposed to be the land of the free, the home of the brave. Like the land of the free, and your citizens are being shot in their cars, you know, for not so-called complying with, you know, uh, these people,
That's it.
going door to door and pulling people out. It's like now, but whether a lot of this is propaganda or not, it's in the minds of the people that their dreamland of America is finished,
That's it.
and people are gonna fight. People talking about it, the right to bear arms, man. Babylon is that nation where, brother, a lot of their own citizens are gonna go down fighting against their own authorities, which is Second Ezra 15.
That's it.
You know,
Oh, I got
okay,
the clip. Just gonna play it real
okay,
quick.
come, come.
Know something? I'll give you a quote. We're a third world country now. You want to know why? I'm an expert. I've been to them. I spent 17 months in Southeast Asia while the draft dodger was playing golf, right? You know how I know we're a third world country? Because in third world countries, they have the military doing their police work in the cities when you walk around. I was in the Philippines the day Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law and went under dictatorship. We went from nobody to a guy with a machine gun on every corner. That's what happens in a dictatorship. In comes the military. That's what's happening here. And people better wake up to it. You want to read something? Then read your history of Germany and start comparing the tactics of what happened in 1930s Germany to what's happening here. Read history. You learn from history. You want to know something?
Karen,
Yep.
that was a clip.
Yeah, can. Yeah, yeah, can. So as the brother said, his name is Jose Ventura. And 90s, 30s Germany, bro. Like it was dark.
Mm.
With the
Gestapo.
Gestapo. It was so unpredictable that people couldn't trust their neighbor, because basically everyone was being spied on. Everyone was being spied on, and basically anybody could have been a member of the Gestapo. And
Mm.
basically people was being people was just being snatched up. In fact, after a chat about the terror that the Gestapo brought to the commoners in 1930s Germany, whilst we finished that precept. on Ezekiel or 21:9. And then before you get that,
No.
I'm gonna get I'm gonna get a quick precept. This is Matthew 12 and 25. No, I'm not just the one in Mark 3 and 24. And if a kingdom be the, divided itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided itself against itself, that house cannot stand it. And that's what's happening with Babylon. That's what's happening with America. And really that's what's happening with Esau, you know what I mean? Empire. You know, even with the headline that was speaking about Trump saying he will charge 10% the tariff in nations that basically oppose the whole thing in Greenland. You know what I mean? And these nations even included Great Britain. You
So,
know, so it says it says this is from the AP News. It says Trump says 8 European countries will face a 10% tariff for opposing U.S. control of, Greenland. Now again, whether or not, like, if a lot of this is just data or not, it's in line with the prophecy, which says that these nations are gonna hate the whole. All
mhm.
these nations that's in league with America is just gonna hate it. It says Donald President Donald Trump said Saturday that he would charge a 10% import tax starting in February on goods from 8 European nations because of their opposing of the opposition to the American control of Greenland, setting up a potentially the dangerous test of the U.S. partnerships in Europe. Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, and the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland will face a tariff. Trump said in a social media post at his golf club in West Palm Beach. The rate would climb to 25% on June the 1st if no deal was in place for the complete and total purchase of Greenland by the United States. So basically, it proves, you know, the United States and Babylon is the hammer of the earth,
Mhm.
you know.
That's
So
it.
yeah,
And
it just shows you.
yeah, I was going to add as well. I was listening to one of the elders. One of the things that they, that was said. There's Elder Ariella was saying how, once again, theater or not, like the fact that America can even make that statement,
Mm,
right? The fact that they can even make that statement, they're really showing you who's in charge. Okay,
mm.
the fact that because let's be real, can a little town can Somalia make that statement?
No, none of this stuff.
The president of Somalia comes out and says, by the June the 1st, we want Greenland. Bro,
Yep.
they'll just send a few, what was it? Is it Al Shabaab or Boko Haram? Just a two mercenaries, because what we've come to understand is all of those individuals are ultimately
Mm.
just assets,
Mercenaries, yeah.
right, of these different alphabet agencies, right? But they'll
Hmm.
basically send a few of them, cause instability, and before you know it, the president that said that is no more. Okay,
Hmm.
so the fact that these guys can even make that statement just shows that really they are in power. The Lord has given them the power, you know.
Hmm. Hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got any of that information in Nazi Germany?
Yep.
Okay.
So the terror group, the Gestapo, right, secret state police brought into Germany wasn't just about brute force. It was about fear seeping into everyday life, making people police themselves. Right.
Bro,
Here's how
like
the
that is just that is 1984, man.
Mhm.
Like, thought, the whole idea of pre-crime. This guy's a thought criminal. Like that's how it's gonna be. You know, like I even saw. You know, it's interesting. It even makes mentions about people policing themselves. I saw a clip the other day of yeah, I mean, like an American who bought food off of Door Dash, one of them apps, Door Dash, you know, them food apps. And
Mm.
basically, the person who bought his food was a Mexican, and he started putting out his phone camera in him. You know, I'm calling the police because you're a Mexican bringing my food. The guy said, "Brother,
Dude.
man, look, man, I'm a citizen." And he's like, "Stay there, don't go anywhere." You know, he was basically trying to force the guy to just stay there whilst he calls the authorities to come and double check if he's legal or not. But the point is, it's like then now you got these like the state of fear is it's being built up so
Mhm.
much in Babylon, but that soon people just gonna call authorities on their neighbors.
That's
You
it.
know what I mean? As in a way of like stopping themselves from being looked at.
Mhm.
You know? You know what I
Got a
mean?
quick one.
Yep.
Says Second Ezra 6 and 23 says the trumpet shall give a sound which every man heareth, they shall suddenly be afraid. At that
Mhm.
time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the
Mm.
earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and 3 hours they shall not run. But the point I just wanted there was, friends fight against another like enemies, right? And
Mhm.
just you preset that with say Matthew 14, right?
Mhm.
It was and 12 speaks about love of many waxing cold, right? So
Yeah.
this idea of people not liking each other, people starting to fight, your neighbors no longer being down with you anymore. Because
Yeah.
that's right. But right now you go, hey, howdy neighbor,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all that.
But it's like that's how split Babylon is. Like like are you a red American or blue American?
Mm.
You know, it's really got to that stage, man. But yeah. Let's carry on in that information.
Says so how here's how the terror worked and why it was so effective. A state built on fear, the Gestapo created in 1933, where it existed to eliminate political opposition and enforce ideological conformity.
Mm.
Communists, social democrats, trade unions, uh, Amalek, Roma, the alphabet people, religious dissenters, and anyone labeled asocial were targets. What made them terrifying wasn't their size; they were relatively small, but their power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Arbitrary arrests and protective custodies. The Gestapo could arrest anyone without a warrant, trial, or explanation. Right? They use a euphemism called
And bro, that's like like is that not what's happening with ICE? Just snatching people out of their homes and figuring it out later.
yeah,
Imagine that people just on their bikes just getting chased down, and
exactly.
like it isn't like this person is confirmed like an illegal. They're basically chasing down and ask questions later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, got this, if I may.
yeah, yep.
Um, and this is from yesterday, right? It says ICE officers assert sweeping power to enter homes without a judge's warrant. Memo says. It says a
Bro,
federal.
like what is going on? Like, I mean, I'm just saying this as a figure of speech. What is going on? Like, this is America, bro.
Exactly. That's
I
it.
thought it was I thought it was the land of the free.
Exactly. And as I said, I was thinking more about that name, Ice Man. You get Ice
Mhm.
Storm, Stormtroopers. You know what? In the Star Wars, Stormtroopers all dressed
Mhm.
in what in white, right?
Mhm.
So it's fun. It's like you got Ice just storming into people's yards. Ice, just
Mhm.
just just doing whatever the hell that they want, man.
Yeah,
So
and ice also makes me think about code, like, and when someone says, and this person's cold, like as in merciless. You know what I mean? It even makes me think about that, about someone being merciless, man. You know,
mm,
you join a person says, "Oh, this person just had a cold,
spirit, yeah,
expression,
yeah,
uh, cold expression in his face. It just makes you think about people being, merciless, man.
They're heartless.
Yeah, and that's what's going on, bro. Like people,
Hmm.
bro. There's videos of them going into restaurants, just going into restaurants and going into the kitchen and snatching people up. That's really some serpentine shit, man. Go ahead, bro.
Hmm. Says the memo authorizes ICE officers to use force to enter a residence based solely on a more narrow administrative warrant to arrest someone with a final order of removal, a move that advocates say collides with the Fourth Amendment protections and
Mm,
upends years of advice given to immigrant communities. Says the shift comes as Trump admin dramatically expands immigration arrests nationwide, deploying thousands of officers under a mass deportation campaign. And this is the thing. Right now, what you call it? Let me read this bit. So every American should be terrified by the secret ICE policy authorizing its agents to kick down your door and storm into your home. It is a legally and morally abhorrent policy that exemplifies the kinds of dangerous, disgraceful abuses America is seeing in real time. Now, what I was about to say is just like right now, you'll have red-blooded Americans, these Edomites, that are cheering this on. Like, get him, right? But not
mm,
understanding. It's like, look, man, these same things that you're saying yes to, that you're agreeing with, will be used against you. Hey, you even have
yeah.
Jake that are saying, this the Southern Kingdom that are saying, yeah, get these people out of the country,
Mm,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah, you even have so-called, Northern Kingdom that be saying it too, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Even this, and it's beautiful, because you have a lot of the Northern Kingdom that are legalized, and they think they're better than the Northern Kingdom that's not legalized. But like even they're catching hell because you
Hmm.
you look like who you are,
Exactly.
and because you have that look, it doesn't matter if you're legalized or not. You're getting snatched up, and
Exactly.
they're figuring that out later. And even you know what I mean. You remember there was people talking about, like, when this thing was first happening, there was talking about people getting snatched up and just getting, you know pushed out of planes over the sea and shit like that. Like things have been happening, you know. Like
Hmm.
people, like, because a lot of these people that have been getting snatched up, well, a lot of them are just going missing. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? A lot of them are going missing, and like you don't even know where they are. And even this, I see one article that says ICE detains 5-year-old Minnesota boy, arriving home, say school officials. Now, again, a lot of these are just data, but even if it's true, or even if it's not true, it just there's just a
It's to
diehard.
rile up people, yeah.
Exactly, there's a diehard born on the 4th of July American who's ready to just snap. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I'm losing. We're losing what it means to be an American, which is true when you think about it. Like Babylon has always been associated with freedom, right? With being
Hmm.
free, just doing what you want, being a proud American. Now being an American isn't enough anymore.
That's it.
You know,
What kind of
like
American are you?
exactly.
That's
Yep,
it.
yep.
So
That's gone.
back in the Gestapo. So it says arbitrary arrest and protective custody in quotes. So the Gestapo could arrest anyone without a warrant, trial, explanation. So we just read, that's the way America's going, right? It says they use
Mhm,
a euphemism called protective custody, which in reality meant indefinite detention, no access to lawyers, no court oversight. Once arrested, a person could simply disappear into a prison or concentration camp. Families often never learn what had happened. Okay. Once again, that's
mhm,
going to come to you, regular American citizens. And ultimately, it's,
mhm,
he's the main look, these low level Edomites, they're going to get caught in this, right? But
mhm,
his main target is Jake. Okay. It says
mhm,
torture and interrogation. Interrogation routinely involved beating, sleep deprivation, psychological abuse, threats against family members. Confessions didn't need to be true, only useful. The goal was intimidation of justice. Camps as
mhm,
instrument of tortures, right? The Gestapo sent prisoners to camps like Dachau, Buchenwald, and Sachsenhausen. Early camps were less about mass extermination and more about breaking political opponents, demonstrating what resistance would cost.
Yeah, and even this, I even asked the bot. I said, can ICE troops be used on other things aside from, you know what I mean, my migration, immigration? He says yes. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) agents and officers are used for a wide range of law enforcement activities before beyond migration and immigration enforcement. While enforcement and removal operations focuses on immigrations, the agency's other primary component, Homeland Security Investigations, handles federal crime investigations related to transnational crime, national security, and public safety.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the point is, when the time is right, you know, that force can be translated to other things.
That's it.
And again, we've been seeing the videos of um people like uh ICE troops that are from foreign countries. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people are wearing a mask and snatching up you like an American citizen, but have an African accent. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've been
that's
seeing it.
gonna rile people up, man.
Yeah, I've been seeing stuff like that where migrant people from migrant nations are now troops, and it's like more people go join them in like in order to not be snatched up themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you know what I mean? Yep,
Yep. I'm
yep,
gonna get this next bit and then get a preset. It says
yep.
a society of informants. This is one of the most chilling aspects. Ordinary Germans informed on each other. Neighbors, co-workers, even family members reported anti-Nazi jokes, listening to foreign radio criticizing Hitler. So the Gestapo relied heavily on these denunciations. You never knew who might report you, so people learned to watch their words, even at home. Right, and I've got precept.
Mm,
It says Luke 12:51 says, suppose ye that I'm come to give peace on earth. I tell you nay, but rather division. For from henceforth they shall be five in one household, divided three against two, and two against three. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter, and the daughter-in-law against her mother. Now, you understand this is more gonna be a on us more so, right? You're gonna have certain people that certain family members go and try, try give you up and this, that, and the other, right? But that spirit in general is coming into the earth, man, right? That spirit
mm,
of, you can't, trust your own family and this, that, which ultimately, brothers, in the truth, we're our own family, man, right?
mm.
Ultimately, everyone else is, you know, what's the saying in the Matrix, man? If they haven't been unplugged, they could potentially become an agent. And that's really what it is, you know.
Yep, yep.
Which
Yeah.
is
Have we got more on Ezekiel 21:9?
yep. This is back in Ezekiel 21:9, right? So, son of man, give the people this message from the Lord. It says, a sword is being sharpened and polished. It is sharpened for terrible slaughter and polished to flash like lightning. Now will you laugh? Those far stronger than you have.
Everything right, bro?
Yeah. Would you call it? Just cut out for a second.
Yeah, can.
Cool. So it is sharpened for a terrible slaughter and polished to flash like lightning. Now will you
Mm.
laugh? Those far stronger than you have fallen beneath its power. Yes, the sword is now being sharpened and polished. It is being prepared for the executioner.
Yeah, and who's the executioner? You remember in times of martial law, matters of national security, because at the end of the day, yeah, you've got rights, yeah, to you're deemed a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, once you're deemed a threat, that whole I'm a citizen. that goes out the window.
That's it.
You know, you got your rights until you're deemed a threat, and when the time suits them, your rights as a citizen can be stripped away, like we've seen with the here in the UK with that young chick,
Oh, Begum.
yeah, that whole theater story. But remember, she basically was a man with no country. You
Mm,
know, she was basically her citizenship was stripped away from her. You know,
that's it.
which is a big deal. Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all about setting precedents,
Hmm.
right? All of these, when he's doing certain things, it's just, of late, it's to set precedent so it can be used later, you know?
Yeah.
So that's it. I was
Yep.
talking about hand of the slayers. I got this. Is Psalm 17:13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, right?
Mm.
So this Edomite is the sword of the Lord, man. Right? And the Lord's going to use him to come up against the children of Israel, man. Right? The wicked of his people. Now on
Yeah.
us, hey, well, we just go and report it now, right? This is
Yeah.
how we protect ourselves from the things that are to come, right? By being obedient to the will of the Most High. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Imagine that. It says, Mima Begum's British citizenship was revoked in 2019 on national security grounds after she traveled to Syria. You know, so it just again, y- in the system, you're a citizen, so it's time not to be. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so that's what them Babylonians are finding out.
Yeah,
You being an American matters. It doesn't really matter that much because they're gonna still be able to kick in that door.
that's it.
And guess what? Once people they start kicking in that door and people start fighting back by force, that's when all bets are off. That's when everyone becomes a threat.
Mm,
You know what I mean? That's when everyone becomes a threat, and and because everyone's a threat, let's lock down everything.
that's it.
You know,
That's
Babylon
it.
is
And
done, bro.
yeah, and it is a thing. It's coming sooner than people think, man.
It's
It's
here.
very
It's not even coming
well,
soon.
say
It's here.
say Salakia, Salakia.
It's here, bro.
Salakia. Yeah, because it's interesting, man. You should be at work, and you're just hearing, people's plans, you know, just hearing plans and this and that, and you're just there like, it's sort of like do we watch the same news? Are we on the same Twitter?
Yeah.
Do we get the same notifications? But
Yep.
the true answer is no, we don't, right?
Hmm.
That's why we're referred to as watchmen, okay? You know, because if we're not watching, we'll be as them that sleep,
Hmm.
okay? In fact,
I have a precept after you.
yeah, this is First Thessalonians 5, right? It says, but of the seasons, but of the times and seasons, brethren, you have no need that are unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord shall come as a thief in the night. When they
Hmm.
shall seek peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon you, as travail upon the woman with child. They shall not escape. But ye,
Hmm.
brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. You are,
Hmm.
and this is it. So despite all of the signs, right, this day is still gonna come upon these people as a thief, right? Despite the signs are there, it's just like it's all there, like it's done,
It's
you
all
know,
done.
right?
Yep.
It says ye are all children of the light and the children of the day, for we are not of
Hmm.
the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober.
Hmm.
You know.
That's it. It's time to watch. I mean, it's always been time to watch, but now you watch more so than ever, bro.
Mhm.
Because it's all happening. Martial law, bro. Babylon's under martial law, bro. It's basically martial law out there. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And it's gonna just increase. Like, and they're gonna be using more of their weapons. Because remember, what's a common theme that we're seeing? Like, if you don't have the numbers to control people or to neutralize the threat, what's an equalizer?
Mm.
Weaponry and technology. And he showed you already with his Palantir, you know, his crowd, this this disposing tools, his drones. That's all he's gonna use, bro. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Like, it's gonna get like that. This is Isaiah 47:1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit down on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt be called no more tender and delicate." And that's what's happening. You know, Babylon, is no more called tender and delicate. Virgin daughter of Babylon, because it's never known, major combat in terms of war, like on the shores from a foreign nation. You know, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. They can try and use that false flag of Pearl Harbor, but really and truly, it's never known, being struck by Russia or being invaded by China, whatever it is. But that's
Yeah,
what's coming.
which
You know,
which even Pearl Harbor, man, that was where the hell? That's like in the middle of the ocean, man. That's
yeah, exactly,
if I'm not mistaken, that's basically Hawaii or something like that, man.
more or less, yeah,
Yeah, Pearl Harbor
yeah,
on Oahu, Hawaii, man.
yeah.
And
Come
it's
on, man.
yeah, because so they can complain about that, but you took it just so Japan couldn't take it,
Yeah,
because it's sort of like when you look when you hear it's a state, you can't it's nearby, and then you actually see it on a map. So, bro, what's Esau doing,
yeah. It's
man?
it's, it's, it's sort of like the mindset of small hats with Palestine. It's like, if I don't come and rob your house, someone else is going to do it. So I might as
Exactly,
well do it.
exactly.
You know. But yeah, but even now, like on a lower level, like, Babylon's not being called tender and delicate no more. You know,
Mm,
before, like America, streets are paved with gold. You know what I mean. Like, basically, asylum seekers and people in general from vulnerable backgrounds, persecuted backgrounds, will go to America feeling that that's where I can go and be liberated. You know what I mean? That's where I can be free. Now,
mhm.
you might get pistol whipped, man, by a troop.
That's it.
Show your ID.
Mhm.
If you have the ID, they're gonna beat your ass and figure it out later, man.
That's it.
America's sad, bro. It says, take um millstones and grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, and cover the thighs that pass over the river. So everything is being exposed. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered; that shame shall be seen. I'll take vengeance; I will not meet thee as a man. And it's like, the sins of Babylon has always been exposed, but now, it's just a state of confusion. Like, it's shameful. You know what I
Mm,
mean? It's just seeing, bro. Like, what's happening again is what you would expect in a third world country.
yeah.
These situations, though, would have never been associated, with America. In fact, the whole idea of peace keeping troops, for Babylon has always been known as bringing peace when they've never really brought peace. They've always brought violence. But when they've always had that PR of
Mhm.
bringing peace. But now that's not happening.
Yeah.
Peace ain't there. My peace ain't there no more, bro. The peace is
Yeah.
gone, bro.
Can I grab this real quick? And I'll jump
Yeah.
back to it. It says 2 Corinthians 11:14, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light,
Yeah.
right? Because as Bro was going into, he's got this great PR, like, he's there to save the world, help the world. But it's like, nah, you the problem.
Mhm.
Like Esau is the problem, and we're gonna, in these last days, we are gonna see more and more proof. I mean, we know it, but all
Mhm.
of the people that have come up against us over the years, well, starting off the apostles, Salakia, over the
Mhm.
years, all of those people are going to be like, oh shit, hey, them Hebrews, man, they were onto something.
Mhm,
This man is the devil, you know.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, and it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. Let's go back to the information. If there's anything more on
Nah,
this
there
time.
wasn't. No, that was
Okay,
more or less it.
okay. Yeah, that's and we've finished Ezekiel 21:9, right? So let's go into Second Ezra 15, or if you
Mhm.
have any articles or anything, you can just
Uh, no, I just second Ezra 15. I'll jump there.
yeah.
All right, so second Ezra 15 from the top
Yeah,
says,
'cause at
"Behold."
the end of the day, man, people might say we sound like a broken record, but well, that's what's speaking right now, man.
Mm.
Bro, it's just like it's beautiful, bro. Like all
Well,
the world is seeing just the end of it. It's the end, bro.
that's it.
You know what I mean?
It's like you said broken record, right? You made me think of like music, and like certain
Hmm.
eras had their music, right? You know,
Hmm.
so you had the funky house era. You go anywhere, that's all you was hearing. You was hearing that funky house, that upbeat music, right? But now it's just that it's that end of the world music, man.
This is the end, my only friend. The end.
In
It's
fact, there's
done, bro.
like that, man. One sec, let me grab it real quick. I think it's what Ezekiel 7, right?
Mm.
Ezekiel 7, it says
When it
from the
says
top, yeah,
the end
moreover
has
the
come.
word, yeah, the moreover the
Mm.
word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, also, thou son of man, thus saith the Lord power unto the land of Israel, an end, the end is come upon the four corners of the land. Now is the end come upon thee, and I'll send mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, recompense you upon all a nation, upon all thine abominations, right? And
Mm.
mine eyes shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I'll recompense
Mm.
thy ways upon thee, and thine abomination shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I'm
Mm.
Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord power, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come, an
Yeah,
end is come.
it's like, bro, there's no better days coming to Babylon,
Mm,
and like it's nothing. It's not getting better. It's not gonna get better. Really, for us in the spirit, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. You know what I mean? But the life as you know it, bro, it's done. Like, come on, like Babylon the Great, America, the most liberating place on the earth. They're going. You know what I mean? It's like it's just you know what I mean. It's sort of like if you have a friend. I mean, it's a wild correlation example, but it's sort of like if you have a friend, he he's just known for every bar you go to. He's just able to get girls and get numbers and make it work. There's never a time you could go out with him where he's not got a number. And then you go to this one spot and he ain't getting no play, and the whole place is not giving him no play. Then you just say to yourself, man, if he can't get play in this place, then boy, like I know it's going to be a hard, hard time in here tonight. You know what I mean? But the point is like with Babylon, it's like, bro, if you can't be a free person in America, then what's going on?
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like then that's how you know it's done. Because best believe, don't even be surprised if this kind of service gets introduced into here in like in the UK, because you know how this migration thing has been a big thing over here.
Hmm.
So what's stopping them from taking a leaf of that book in some rights?
That's it. That's it. Well, when you and this is the thing when you observe a lot of the things that Starmer has done,
Mm,
rather that Trump has done, Starmer and them have done things that are actually quite similar, right?
mm,
It just goes to show you it's all theater because you'll have like what's the word I'm looking for, man? You'll have these are supposed to be two very different um parts of the sides of the political spectrum, but yet they bloody are doing the same thing, right?
mm,
They're passing certain laws here, right, that are that are anti-immigrant, this that, and the other, right? and certain things just doing them out of nowhere. Like we always give the example of the the digital ID thing. It was just kind of like he was like, yeah, nah, by the way, this is happening, and we was like, yo, where is this from?
That's it. Yeah.
So let me so let me finish. Ezekiel 7:6 says, an end is come, the end is come. It watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come.
Yeah. But behold, it is come.
That's it.
And it's funny. I just seen an article, the Guardian. It says, what does it say? It says, what ICE is doing on US streets look terrifying, but don't forget, it could happen anywhere, right? So you might have proud Brits like, Britain in it. Nah, it can never happen. Boots in the ground, troops, bro. And bro, London would jump off, bro. London, France, it would get hot quick because these Londoners are weak, but it's so densely populated with people from foreign nations that it would get dark quick, and they would have to you know what I mean, use force quick. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, America, man, it's just, it's the end times, bro. It's just here. It's actually beautiful. It's here. Everything we've been saying that's gonna happen is here, bro. And that's why we have to pray for protection in this time, and the Lord to be with brothers and their families, because to take for instance, a place like Chi Town and Ley, where you got a lot of the Northern brothers are. You never know what they're dealing with, but what we know is that the Lord's going to protect and select and be with us in like any situation that we have to be in, because some of us are going to get snatched up too.
That's it.
Some of us, scripture says, it'll get as hard as us being taken out for the truth. So these things are not too far away.
Yeah. This is Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. It says, be thou faithful unto death, and I'll give thee a crown of life.
That's it. Be thou faithful to definitely give you a crown of life. But the point is, the devil's gonna, cast some of us into prison. The devil's gonna come down with great wrath because if you have but a short time. That's Revelation 12:12, and we're seeing that. So as the weeks go by, the days go by, bro, and then more information on the mark of the beast, the microchip implantable, like surveillance, like and then another thing, man, expect more agent provocateurs, man. And that's Esau. That's what he does, man. Like to fan the flames of tension, to then bring up much stricter laws. That's what Esau does, man. He will let you have little wins in your head, or at least engineer little wins in your head, in order as a pretext to to just bring out the big guns.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? AKA let these Palestinians hit us with a few rocks, so that we can just take out their whole village. That's what Esau's on, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get a last one. I don't, or a couple. I don't know if he's going to read 2 Ezra 15.
Yeah, I mean, I've still got it. It'll just be for it. It says, 2 Ezra 15 from the top says, behold, speak down the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. Right? So once again, we're not speaking of ourselves, right? There's this idea that people may have this idea that, oh yeah, you guys are saying it of your own. No, we're not saying it of our own accord. This is the will of the Lord. Okay.
Mhm.
So it goes on to say, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the
Mhm.
imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity, which means unbelief, of them trouble thee that speak against thee. So when someone
Mhm.
comes into this thing, that may be something. Salaki, rather when the Lord brings
Mhm.
someone into this thing, that may be something that's on that person's mind. You'd be trying to tell family, but the people, the family members ain't believing them, friends ain't believing them, even maybe even mocking. Right? Don't worry
Mhm.
about it. Right? Work out your own salvation. Okay. Verse
Mhm.
4, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Right?
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
says, behold.
That's it. That's exactly it. We gonna be vindicated whilst they get judged.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. This goes on to say, behold, saith the Lord, I'll bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Mhm.
Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And
Yeah, that's
therefore
what
saith
happens.
the
Our brothers are complaining about this
Mhm.
kingdom going down, and that's why the Lord is he's accelerating the times, man. The faster these things come to pass, is the faster that we're out of it. You know?
That's it. That's it. So it goes on to say, verse 10, it says, behold, my people is led as a flock to slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I'll bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will
Yeah,
destroy all the land
also
thereof.
Egypt, this modern Egypt is Babylon the Great, which is America, man. And they've been smitten with plagues, man. In many ways, the pandemic of people on drugs out there, it's shameful, man.
Hmm.
You know, and soon they're talking about you know what I mean, a storm coming that's going to affect
Yeah,
the
yeah,
food,
yeah, yeah.
the food
But
supply out there.
yeah, well, it was funny though, because it's like it was specifically called an ice storm.
Ice
you know?
storm, yep, yep, yep. So, and again, whether these things are natural or engineered, it's still prophecy.
Mhm.
You know, right?
Yep. So it says Egypt and will destroy the land, all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. Um, yeah, it says they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fall through the blasting in hell, and with fearful constellation. Woe to the
Mm-hmm,
world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. Right, and one
mm-hmm.
people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands.
Yeah,
For they shall be.
that's that Egyptian against Egyptian, man.
That's right.
Well, what type of American are you? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Red or blue? Good.
That's right. Yep. Says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course
Yeah,
of their action shall stand in their power.
yeah. That's when they're gonna need the Insurrection Act, where
Hmm.
people are fighting against their own authorities and not regarding. You know,
Hmm.
because all it takes is for a couple of agent provocateurs who was which already has them in place. You know, sleeper cells whereby they're just gonna just let loose.
Mm.
Couple other people going, you know, a cult of personality. You know what I mean? Like someone like Tate or something. You know what I mean? Just
Mm.
inspiring young men of a fightable age to do something stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's because the thing is, people underestimate Esau's ability to control both sides.
Mm.
Like he will create the woke agenda, a woke personality that you're putting your whole trust in, and he's an agent the whole time.
Yeah. Well, the what's this one? What is this thing called again, man? Cambridge Analytica.
Mm,
I remember reading into that, and it was basically going into how, it's like what they were able to do with that Cambridge Analytica, right?
mm,
Was deep, man. right? You know, to the
Mhm.
point where, you know, as they would, you know, as they would say, quote unquote, officially speaking, it worked
Mhm.
too well, you know.
Mm.
So it was like, oh, actually, we've got to shut it down, right? But basically,
Mhm.
it was going into how they were basically able to just, completely, switch someone or sway someone's opinion, man,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Like even I mean, it's not the same level, but I saw some information on like uh Japanese Black Panther that was embedded into the Black Panthers, and he was like a freedom fighter. Uh, like if you want to type it, you can type it in like a Japanese Black Panther that got embedded into the Black Panthers, and he was at the protest, and he was just like, oh wow, he's standing with us brothers or whatever. And it turns out he was an FBI agent the whole time. And it's like, so don't even, you know what I mean? Yeah, him. Like this geezer was just an agent the whole time, but this guy could be embedded. Like it's sort of like this. Like again, you know, spies or whatever get filtered out on the truth, but like Esau could have a scattered Jake spy get embedded in the face. Yeah,
Exactly.
man, and you know what I mean. He's an agent.
Yeah, he cool, Ark. He cool, Ark.
He cool, brother. You know what I mean? Obviously, at the end of the day, there's no impure thing that's gonna fall into this, and all spies and agents are going to be exposed and dealt with.
Mm,
But the point is, it's not out of Esau's realm to bring to do something like that. But yeah, man, they know that they say scattered people can be Israelites too. So let's just get a Japanese guy who's got a personality to just be embedded with them to expose whatever. But there's nothing to expose anyway.
that's it.
But yeah,
Hey, but
I just found
what?
I found this interesting. If if there's anything there that you want to read or whatever, it's up to you.
Um, I'll just read it. Richard Aoki was an American educator and college counselor, best known as a civil rights activist and early member of the Black Panther Party. He joined the early Black Panther Party and was eventually promoted to the position of field marshal. Although there were several Asian Americans in the Black Panther Party, Aoki was the only one to have a formal leadership position. Following Aoki's death, the FBI's records on him were obtained through the Freedom of Information Act, showing that over a period of 15 years, he had been an informant for the government.
You know how funny that is. So Jake probably was there. He was probably waking up every day. Oh fuck, man, I gotta go deal with these niggas. And he's like, peace, brother. You know, peace, peace, and black power, brother. And
Yeah.
Jake probably was going crazy, like, oh look, see, bro, he's one of us, bro. But he's like agent the whole time.
Yeah, but
You
this is
know,
why Jake, Jake's always trying to bring people in, man.
yeah.
Look at those, those bug outs Genesis, man. We believe they took it back, but it's just like Jake's always trying to bring people in, man.
Mm,
You know.
yeah, yep. Yeah, let's finish that second episode.
Yep. So it's the second Ezra's 15 and 16. For they shall be sedition among men and invading one another. It says they shall not regard their kings nor princes. The course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man
Yep.
shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man
Yeah,
shall have no.
these major cities, man. These major
Mhm.
cities, because you see it in these films, civil wars. It's never some farmland that's just on fire, bro. It's always the cities, major
Yeah,
cities. You know,
that's
go
it.
ahead.
That's it. So a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
For great tribulation, and that's what's coming, man.
Hmm.
So hey, as prophecy moves along, remember prophecy is a daily thing. Prophecy
That's it.
doesn't go away till it comes to pass. So expect more food shortages, expect more riots, expect
Hmm.
more troops, more boots on the ground, and then it's like Esau's a master of chaos, but Roy doesn't understand that what he believes he's a master of, the Lord is a master of. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Like he feels he can control the narrative and control this demolition essentially of this kingdom, and then rising up as a phoenix, from the the ashes to establish his NWO. But what he doesn't know, that his plan is not his plan, it's the Lord's plan.
That's it.
And no matter where this seems like it's going, it's all leading to the path of his end.
That's
You
it.
know? Yeah, man. So yeah, stay tuned.
That's
You know?
right.
All right. I don't know if you got anything else you want to say, bro.
No, that's it. That's it.
All right, man. So with that, we got to praise be to you.
Yeah,
To Yahweh, Ba'ashem,
Hashem. Yeah, Shai.
Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem,
Hashem
Shem,
Kadash.
Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great most. Until next time, we will
Double honors.
say Shalom.